Channel. So for today's video we are testing the Mars eyeshadow palette from Makeup Revolution. I've got it on my eyes today. I'm going to do some swatches first of all, and then what I'll do is I will insert the footage of me creating this eye look. I haven't used many colours. I used 4 in this eye look, so I'm excited to swatch the others, but how beautiful is this palette? I just can't wait, so let's get stuck in and let's swatch all these colours. So normally I'd just work left to right, that's the way I always do swatches, but because it's such a big palette, I'm literally going to go in and try certain colours. So I'm going to start off with the sort of duochrome ones first. Okay, so that's the first few duochromes. And there's some more. So these are all the duochrome shades. So I'll do some of the matte shades. This one I used in my eye look, and this pink, which is perfect to blend with. I know it's pale, but it was really good for blending. They don't always have to be the most pigmented. Sometimes the less pigmented ones are good for the outer edge of your eye look. But yeah, overall I'm very, very impressed with this palette. And if I hadn't already bought it, because obviously it's here now, I would be buying it, because yeah, really, really impressed. Let's do a shimmer. Let's do a couple of shimmers. So there's a shimmer. Oh, look at that brown shimmer. That gold one doesn't look the best. It's because I use my little finger though. It's not any reflection on the shadows. So yeah, I am super, super impressed with this. As I said earlier, I'm now going to pop in the video of me creating this look today, and it was used completely just this palette, nothing else at all. Even the black is impressive, and blacks are usually the ones that sort of fall down. And historically, Revolution, when they used to do the palettes that were sort of yay big and they had, you know, the stripes down them, they always had like very sort of light grey blacks. This is, it's still not pitch black, but it's pretty good, I am impressed. So yeah, so to save us a bit of time, I've already done my eyebrows and I've already put on my eyeshadow base. So the products I've used are this Gimme Brow by Benefit in shade number 3. And then, as always, I have used the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas just as a base for my eyeshadow. And then we're going to go in with the first shade. So the first shade I'm going to be using today is this dark sort of mauvey pink shade here, the second one in. So I'm taking that on a really small pencil brush. This is the E30 pencil by Sigma. And I'm just going to use it to trace the shape that I want my eyeshadow to be. So now I'm happy with that shape. I'm going to repeat it on the other eye. So now I'm happy more or less with those shapes. The next colour I'm going to go in with is this lighter pink shade. So I'm using the same brush. I've just dusted off the excess with one of these colour switches. And I'm just going to draw a thin line above the line we already have. And I'm just doing that on both eyes again. Next, I'm taking this blending brush. This is the Firm Blender by Sigma, which is the E44. It is a clean brush, and I'm just literally gonna buff out the edges in between the two shades. If you're having difficulty blending at this point, you can go in with a small amount of the lighter shade to help with your blending. If you can see the difference now, but this is blended, this is not blended, you can tell the difference. So once you're happy with the blend between the two colours, it's time to move on to blending the outer edge. What I will say at this point is if you lost a lot of pigmentation whilst blending, you can add in more colour now. You can either do it by adding a small amount of colour onto your blending brush, as long as you're sort of in control and you don't go too far sort of outside of the area where you want the colour, or you can do the same thing that we did originally and you can use a pencil brush, pop the colour down and then blend it out. And you can keep blending, keep adding colour, keep blending. Just keep repeating it until you get the intensity you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and blend out the outer edge, so the edge with the lighter pink on. So I'm using the same brush again to blend out the outer edge, and I've used my trusty cleaning thing to clean it off. I say it's a cleaner, it's not a cleaner. It doesn't sterilise, it doesn't actually clean anything, but it does get rid of colour for when you're creating an eye look. So it's not something that's sanitary. It needs to be cleaned as much as the brushes need to be cleaned afterwards, but it just gets rid of the colour in between colours. So now we're just blending out that edge just so we've got no harsh lines, and I'm trying my best not to get it too far blended out so that we end up with shadow all the way to my eyebrows. I often at this point get it a bit too high, so I'm trying not to do that. And then again, you just repeat that on the other eye. Again, you should be able to just blend out with an empty brush or a brush with no pigment on it, but if you are struggling, if you find that difficult, you can just add a lighter sort of almost skin tone shade to the brush. You don't want a lot of pigment on though, so what I would suggest is popping a bit of colour on, tapping it off, and then using that. But it does need to be, you know, as close to your skin tone as possible. Otherwise it's going to affect the colour of the shadow. Again, if you feel like you've lost any pigmentation at this point, you can go back in with the original colours. If you're like me, you'll probably have one eye that looks better than the other. It always happens with me. I always struggle blending on this eye, because it's the same side as my hand, I think. I'm right-handed and it's my right eye. I seem to be able to blend that side better, but that's life and we just live with it. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. To do that, I usually put a bit of cut crease canvas on the back of my hand. I then get a cream shader brush. This one is actually a Jessup's one, but it's exactly the same as the Zoeva cream shader. They have the same numbers. They're pretty much a copy or a dupe. And to be honest, let's see if I can find my cream shader brush. Okay, I can't find my Zoeva one right now, but to be honest, they're identical and I haven't noticed a difference. So these are cheaper. You can get these on Amazon. I'll pop them down in the description should you want to check them out. But basically, they are a great shape for cutting a crease. And all I'm doing now is tracing the shape of my eyelid with concealer or with cut crease canvas to cut my crease. I generally start with the bottom because it's easier. And then I decide where I'm going to cut. So now I'm happy with the shape. I'm just going to pat my eyelid just to try and set it a little bit. This doesn't quite set the way that the P. Louise one does. So now we're moving on to the lid colour, and how can I not use this yellow here? It's just the one pop of colour that is screaming out to me from the palette. I'm going to try it first with a dry brush, and then if that doesn't work, we'll move on and try a wet brush. yeah, it's not the best. So with a dry brush, so I'm just going to use this Mercy Handy face spritz. This one is actually a really fine mist, so I find it's quite good for not over wetting the brush, just enough to sort of use the colour. Sometimes if it gets too wet, it's not great for your eyeshadow. It kind of like seals your eyeshadow. So this seems to be working a bit better now. I usually apply it to the main part of my eye first because it's easier, and then I can just do it really, really quickly and just dab it on, and then I'll go around the edge once I've done that and be more precise, because what we don't want to do is lose that shape we have from the cut crease. Okay, so if you do find that you go slightly over the edge, which I have done in this section here, I've gone slightly over the edge, what you need to do is get the darkest shade you were using earlier on the smallest brush possible. This one is a 310 spot liner from Zoeva, and it is absolutely minuscule. Look at it next to my small fingernail, it is tiny. And I'm just literally taking that dark purple shade, I'm just going to go around the bit where I've gone over and just create a straighter line. I'm actually just going to have a quick go around the whole of my eye shape. It just gives it that little bit more definition. So I think we're going to go really dark in the corner. I think we're going to go in with this black here. I'm just going to use that for the outer corner. This is actually quite a good black, but they can be a bit grey, and you also don't want to go too far in when you're blending black. I'm just using a blending brush just to buff that along. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do my face off camera just to save a bit of time. I'm going to do this eye to match this eye, and then I'll come back, we'll finish off, line our lashes, under eye, you know, and do the final last steps. So I'll see you in a minute. So I'm back, I've done my face, let's just get my eyes finished. So I'm going to go in with the black shade in my outer corner. I'm not going to take this too far along, I just want a nice smoky outer corner. Do think if you take it too far along it makes your eyes look a lot smaller. I'm just going to do the same on both eyes. And then I'm just going to get the yellow and I'm just going to run that over the rest of my under eye. And then I'm just going to get a loose blending brush and I'm just going to do a bit of blending on my outer corner. So this is the final look, and overall I must admit I am in love with this palette. I know I've only used a few colours and I haven't swatched it yet. You'll have seen the swatches at the start of the video, but I haven't actually physically done those yet. But yeah, from what I have tried and used and had a go with, really, really great palette, would highly recommend. And I hope you did enjoy this video and you did find it useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it really does help my channel, and I hope to see you in a video again soon. Bye!